Yeah, so no surprise to see him moving to 6-1 in great position to make a run towards our top 8. And now, this is what the chat has been clamoring for. AliEldrazi here against Ross Merriam in our time shifting match. Ross is up a game with Jeskai Breach. And Ali, as Tron is one to do, I think potentially thinking what to put back with fewer than 7 cards. Oh no, we're just keeping 7, which is never a great sign.
And I believe I saw the tower there, so this is the fabled turn 3 Karn from Mono Green Tron.
If your Tron opponent keeps 7, it usually means either they don't understand how aggressively you have to mulligan, or you are screwed and, okay, well, I've got a game to give here. Let's try our best in game 3.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look, on the plus side for Ross, Jeskai Breach, most of their threats are pretty cheap. None of them are necessarily, like, hugely impactful. You can definitely beat Karn coming down, exiling your land, exiling your Ragavan, finish it off with an Unholy Heat, hope the Tron player doesn't have that much backup. It's not a flawless plan, but it can work.
That is one thing that I think has led to Mono Green Tron losing its last, is that just Karn Liberated is not what it used to be. Even on turn 3, sometimes even on the play, like it is a lot more beatable than it has been in the past.
Yeah, Karn often known by its alternate name, Lightning Helix.
Yes.
Wait, it sounds like we might need to cut to the booth here.
Yeah, so you will see our faces on the screen. There we go. Beautiful. Lots of drip. More so from me, I would say, but I mean, this is just the photos we submitted, so can't read too much into that.
Yeah, I mean, I admit that I did kind of take this photo on short notice, so I apologize if the quality isn't flawless, but
Okay, we're back. We're back. And we are speeding up the gameplay here, going to 1.5x. So we will see turn 3 Karn with whatever multiplier is involved. Turn 2 Karn, I suppose. That's pretty impressive. Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger getting exiled from Ragavan. Would be impressive to get to cast that. I always like those stories where your Ragavan casts a card which like is effectively uncastable in your own deck, but somehow in this super obscure game state ends up winning you the game from them somehow.
Oh yeah, like you ever hard cast a nice Cauldron Complete, just as an example?
I have definitely been Karn the Great created by my Murktide opponent on turn 3 and just...
That's nice. Looks like Emery hitting the board for Ross here, milling over a Bauble and not much else, I think.
And chat currently trying to balance their pro AliEldrazi sentiment with their anti-Tron sentiment, although it's a couch in much more vulgar language.
Yeah, look, if chat wants to know, I would like to state for the record that I won many tournaments with Tron for many years. My first Grand Prix top 8 was with Tron. My first PT qualification was with Tron. I love Tron, and I will unapologetically be pro Tron, regardless of what chat thinks.
I also am a Tron sympathizer, and so I will be joining you.
Right, so what is Eldrazi Wishing Fear? It looks like Trinisphere is the choice. Interesting call from AliEldrazi.
Yeah, so this is effectively a 7-mana Trinisphere, because the card I imagine is going to immediately get finished off. And so I think the idea is effectively, if I control Trinisphere, your Underworld Breaches basically do nothing. Your Emery is very cumbersome. All of your cards just get slow to a glacial pace. And so if I have any follow-up threat, or even if I don't, I have enough time to find something else to get the job done.
Yes, I definitely agree. It seems like it's going to get the full 7 mana worth of value, if you will. Just makes Ross's entire deck not function particularly smoothly. And because Emery Recurring Bauble is so expensive, we might see Ross just attack the card for 3 and play an additional threat instead of trying to utilize Emery's ability. Look at that.
Wow. Okay. 2-mana Odawara. You'd love to see it. And this is... Okay, so are we... we can't sacrifice those. Those are treasures. Stop. Okay. Ross, please.
Yeah, I agree with Ross, please. Oh, man. So
See Ross nodding to himself. I wonder if this one is joining the Ross montage eventually. Maybe
what?
not. It looks like we have other stuff to do instead.
Oh, so is if you don't kill the Karn, yes, you can replay the bubble, but you can't use the bubble. So there's some questions about where we're really going with this. Now maybe Russ has it on a holy heat or something and just kind of got ahead of himself. I'm not too sure, but if he doesn't have a way to remove this Karn, I think he's in enormous trouble.
Yes, and well, the way to remove the Khan was Ragavan and Emery, and that line is now off the table. So we could also exile or we could get the Cityscape Leveler from exile that was just put there from Ragavan, assuming there's a second copy in the sideboard regardless, but just for style points, I suppose.
Ah, the Oblivion Stone, and I love this actually. I don't know if AliEldrazi normally has one in his sideboard, or if he sided out that Outstone and then wished for it. But it looks pretty great here, just to sweep up kind of all the stuff Ross is doing. Absolutely deny him those bobble activations. Kind of deny him everything.
So Ross is fetching. I guess something like a Spell Pierce could delay the activation of the Ozone for a turn, or beautiful basic mountain. That is some drip right there. So whatever else is going on in this game, we can credit Ross Merriam for that one. But
Well, maybe Ross is thinking that he wants to like Unholy Heat finish off the card so that he can draw two off his bobbles. Kind of trade his Unholy Heat for two cards, if that makes sense. Mm. That
so
does seem to be the call.
yeah, although this way you allow Ali to get another wish from the Khan, which I guess maybe the thinking is you need the heat for the follow-up Khan or for something else. But yeah, it's kind of splitting the difference in a way that just lets Ali get another game-winning threat. It looks like.
Yeah, I don't fully understand this line as of now. It may become clear to me in time what Ross is intending. Ross is a strong player. I'm sure he had reasons for doing this, but I'm currently not sure what they are. Mm. Right, so Ross untaps and apparently is just going to iterate to try to rebuild. I mean, that's fine and all, but a little small ball. Ali is probably going to slam another game-winning threat, possibly even the same Trinisphere next turn. Ross kind of needs to get something going quick.
And it's unclear what that could even be because you can't play towards this Underworld Breach endgame because Trinisphere is going to shut that off. And then I guess it would have to be some kind of maybe Ross has like Alpine Moon in his deck and can delay Tron and then. But even that, right? Let's say Tron is out of commission as of this turn. Well, where does that get Ross unless there's something else in the chamber?
Yeah, agreed. I don't really see the line. And to be honest, I thought there was a chance that maybe Ali was going to wait till Ross's turn to pop the O-Stone, just because that would prevent Ross from, you know, getting as much going. Like, you can use it in combat, that way he can't dash a Ragavan, for example. It's interesting to me that he decided to use it kind of main phase.
Yeah, and now this game is just slowing to an absolute crawl. So we're Sylvan scrying for, I assume, some land that has additional utility here, or just another Tron piece. That makes sense.
I mean, I especially like another Tron piece if he has like an Eldrazi in hand or another like big play. I'm not sure if he does or not, but that is one reason to get the tower here.
Yeah, this is almost the most terrifying option because Ali has the next big thing, and all he needs to do is get the tower to unlock it.
Yeah, another problem Ross has here is like, okay, so Ollie's 16. Seems like winning the fair game is basically off the table. But on the other hand, with this relic sitting in play and the graveyard already exiled by the first relic, it seems like the combo wins off the table too. So I don't really know what Ross's route to victory is now.
Yeah, I think with that Khan winning of any kind, luckily we do have a game 3. He will get Pioneer former staple Godpharaoh statue, icing the game up even further.
Yeah, the six, you see the 16th best artifact in Pioneer coming through in Modern. uh, but Ross has 3 lands, so it's going to make it exceptionally difficult for him to cast well anything.
And
Yeah,
again, Khan could just wish for the same Trinity that has been exiled at this point, but either way, that is going to do it for game 2 here. We will be bringing you game 3 before too long. Not sure if that's going to be a 1.5 speed or exactly what cadence that's going to be, but hopefully we will get to see the conclusion of Ali versus Ross in just a second.
right. So, okay, while we have a moment of downtime, then, did you want to discuss the drip or lack of drip in Ollie's choice of Tron lands?
Yeah, so white bordered antiquities. I mean, those are functional. Function over form, I suppose. I guess all Tron lands have identical functions. Otherwise, again, judges would have some questions. So it really is just all about form. And at these Tron lands, I'm going to say pretty bad form.
Now, how do you feel about the fact that they're specifically mismatched Antiquity Tron lands? Do you think he's playing like the one of each or something like that?
Now I have more respect for the one of each than for just the, 4 of this, 4 of this, 4 of this. But maybe this is some like mixed strategy of, okay, I have 2 of this one and then one of a second one of a third one, just really scrambling the opponent's brain there.
Oh yeah. So I'm not saying Ollie's doing this or that anyone has ever done this, but how do you feel about the classic Tron land split of Antiquities Tron lands, one of each for towers and power plants, and then 4 copies of the mine that kind of looks like a tower?
That is exactly where I was going to go next. I kind of love it, honestly, but I would raise an eyebrow and split.
It's always seemed too unsportsmanlike for me to actually do, but it's just so funny to think about. Um,
I will say, bottom of this ranking are I think it's the double masters Tron lands, which are very difficult to tell apart from each other, and also just aesthetically by far the worst Tron lands.
yes, agreed. Look at that Haywire Might just being slammed on turn 1. You don't see Tron with a lot of 1-drop creatures, but this one does do some nice work here. Kind of a layer of protection against the combo.
And yeah, this is in fact game 3 for anyone just joining the stream and wondering. Ali, 1 game 2, Ross, 1 game 1 before we got here, before we got to our time shift match. Ross, gonna see if he can close out this game on the play. Haywire might, among other things, kind of hilarious answer to Ragavan. Like, if that's one way you think you lose these games is just being on the draw against Ragavan, then I guess this fits the bill.
Yeah, and I also like in the sense that like it might be a wish target for Karn, but that you sometimes actually board in. And I think cards that split the difference in this way are particularly valuable in these Great Creator decks.
It might be a wish target.
I know friend of the stream, Bobby Fontanelli, is a huge fan of boarding in wish targets of many varieties in many matchups in the Pioneer format, and it seems like Ollie is, taking a bit of this approach as well.
Okay, so grinding station from Ross. That is part 1 of your 2-point something card combo.
Interesting. So I'm not sure if Ollie's playing this Ancient Strings because like he doesn't have the 3rd Tron piece, or if he just like wants to like play a sphere and leave up his Haywire Might and is playing to like Stirrings into the sphere or something to that effect. It's sort of unclear to me, but it seems like he might be shields down as of now.
Yeah, seems like neither of the above, in which case Ross has a window here if he has a 0-cost artifact and Underworld Breach to just steal this game out of nowhere. But I think, depending on what Ali has left in his hand, I think I like taking that risk, just because if you're doing nothing, well, Ross can build towards something else. And the actual likelihood of, Breach plus 0, given that the 0 wasn't deployed already, is not that high.
No, that's very true. And I mean, I think it's reasonable for Ollie to take that risk. I mean, certainly, if you make no progress, then you'll just lose to their fair game. Their fair game is pretty robust.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, I think, of, let's say Ross had a Mishra's Bulb on turn 1, and now that 3rd piece is 4, and just Underworld Breach is needed now. I think at that point, maybe it becomes a little too risky, but as it happens, Ali will complete Tron, play Cityscape Leveler, nuking Emery, and so now we are kind of in the same position as we were last turn, where the shields are down, and now we have a 0 in that mark. So
I think that's actually kind of a show of weakness on Ollie's part. Like, if he could play a threat while still leaving up Haywire for the combo, like Karn Great Creator or Karn Liberated, I think that he would. So going for the Cityscape Leveler here, I think means that Ollie's hand is not particularly strong.
And there's Underworld Breach. And you see Ali just nodding along, head in his
I mean,
hands.
that's game. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I mean, you do see some mono green Tron lists having Force of Vigor in the sideboard. I think having multiple Haywire Mice kind of mitigates against that, but clearly no Force of Vigor here. And yeah, Ross is just going to run away with this game out of nowhere.
right, and again, my assumption is Ollie didn't have another great play to make. Because if he did, I think it'd be really tempting to just make the other play and leave up the Haywire Man activation to prevent the combo. When you play Tron against sort of deck, like I don't know, over 70% of the games you lose are probably with the combo. Uh, but that didn't happen. He was forced to have a Cityscape Leveler and is going to lose the game to what is presumably a top deck's Breach.
Yeah, the other thing here though is what would even count other than Khan the Great Creator as a good payoff there? Because Khan Liberated, well, if you try and exile the grinding station, it attacks itself in response. If you try and hit something else, you leave the shields down. I guess you could leave up the Haywire Might at that point, but yeah, the fact that the payoff cost exactly 8 and accounted for all of Ali's mana just left the door wide
I think if you had Karn
open for
Liberated,
this to
you
happen.
could play. Sorry. I think if you had Karn Liberated, you could consider playing it and plussing.
Sure. But Chad is
But
saying that that Ali had a Khan the Great Creator in hand last turn, which is I think if that were the case, I would much prefer to have done that instead.
if that's true, I believe this is a misstep from Ali. I think he should have played Karn Great Creator, maybe wish for a Trinisphere or something, and pass with here my up and just like not rushed it. Taking the game at a leisurely pace.
Yeah, there we go. There is that Khan. I think maybe Beseiju in hand as well. So yeah, I think any line other than the one that Ali took would have resulted in him this game.
And I think this is kind of a lack of patience on Ollie's part, perhaps unfamiliarity with the Breach matchup in particular. When you play Mono Green Tron against this deck, you kind of want to imagine that you're playing Blue-White Control. And just like, never rush the pace, play around the combo as much as you can, just chill. Like, as long as you're making any progress, leave up as much as you can. You don't need to win anytime soon. Eventually, you will take it down.
Yeah, I do think Cityscape Leveler is a really nice upgrade for just having a nice resilient threat, which, especially against the card counterspell, the fact that you can kill their Shredder, kill their Murktide through counterspell, and then have this threat that can come back again next turn. Just, it's harder than ever to get A plus B plus C, and then you need part D of that to also be good, and have a part D that is pretty good, pretty reliably.